put it all on platters and
I didn't put it on the platters, but I took it all out of the oven.
Excellent. You took it out of the oven. But
so you're saying because you put it on the platters, that's a whole different
Yeah, dude, I think it's like a partnership.
Because I pulled it out, but I didn't put it on a platter that you're coming at me for
feel like
that.
you're gonna.
One would think, given how much Lauren has been through because of this man, the producers would allow her to take a step back and go and heal, but it seems no, they want to continue to keep her in the process. They want to continue to have this man traumatize her. For what reason, only they know. And with Brennon, somebody explained this to me. Why is this man so defensive? Why is he like this? I don't get it. Anyway, hey there, thanks for stopping by. It's Valerie. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe, click the like button, turn on the notification bell for when I upload new videos, and definitely leave a comment. In this episode, I'll be reviewing Married at First Sight, Season 17, Episode 9. Hi everyone, I'm so sorry for my reviews. I've been away, but now I'm back. Anyway, so the episode starts, you have poor Emily sort of meet up with her friend and have a conversation because she's still sort of confused as to what's going on with Brennon, because initially it seemed he was attracted to her. I felt they had sex on their wedding night, but Emily doesn't sort of reveal that. And then suddenly he's been very standoffish, and her friend is sort of trying to sort of help her make sense of what's going on, and sort of they agree that they both want answers. There are people who want, if they're confused about something, they want someone to answer them. And it seems like Brennon is not doing this. Brennon is sort of evading the questions. And apparently he doesn't want to really have conversations on camera. And it reminds me of that guy on Love is Blind who they ended up splitting because the girl couldn't put up with him not sort of communicating with her. And it's like, why does he want to speak to you on camera? What is it he's afraid of? Is he not attracted to her from the start and he pretended to be attracted to her? To me, marriage is for life. What's happened now? Anyway, apparently they've agreed to move in together since Pastor Carl sort of said they needed to move in together. So we'll see how that plays out. And then you have Claire go and visit Cameron at work. And I was very nervous when he walked in. We didn't even see the label for the shop. I don't remember seeing it. And so he's got his sort of little cutesy sort of shop that sort of looks like a boutique. And he's very, very sort of engaged with what he does for a living. Apparently, he's got 2 degrees in fiber, plastic fiber or something, polyfiber or something like that, on bicycles, and he started to explain what goes on with it to Emily. It reminded me of Gina and Clint last season when Gina kept talking about her salon. So, but it was cute in the sense that Cameron got Claire to participate and they tried to fix a bicycle, I think just so people could understand what was going on. I hope it doesn't become a thing. I like the fact that she brought him a sandwich. They seem to be in a good place, but there's always something that's sort of at the back of the mind saying, what is it? What is it? I know someone in the comments said, no, he doesn't have money. I don't believe so. I think there's more to Cameron than the cameras are showing us. I think Cameron has money, and I'm going to maintain this. Cameron has money. I know someone was saying, no, he doesn't. I said the same thing if you watch my reviews from Steve's season when I said Steve had money, and then it later came out that Steve has money. I think Cameron has money. I think there's a reason why he's decided to be very evasive about his wealth, just because he wants to make sure that whoever he meets and marries wants to marry him for the person that he is. Maybe it's the hopeless romantic in me, but that's the impression that I get, and I hope it turns out to be the truth. So because it's Becca's birthday, they meet up with her friends with Austin. And for me, I'm going to say this again. Something is going on with that couple. It's either they're not being genuine or something is really going on. They're playing up to the cameras because something is not right. Apparently, they still haven't had sex just because Austin wants them to wait, which I agree with. You need to know the person before you start having sex with them. It seems with Becca, that's not always the way she handles situation, but she's happy to wait. And what I don't get is they're always, oh, we get along, we're equally yoked, you know, our connection is great, the experts were right in matching us. It's always everything is great, but when you look at them, you can tell something is not right, something is a bit off. I'm not saying they don't like each other, but something is not connecting, and I can't wait for it to sort of come to the surface, because it seems either they're having very intense conversations behind the scenes, or Austin has decided that she's not the person for him because of her medical history, but he's asked her that they both play up to the camera until decision day, then they can say no, because otherwise it doesn't make sense. So her friends then ask, Becca after Austin's left, because they did ask about the sex. And she says she's happy to wait, although she's never been one to wait. And it's like, just tell the truth. Just tell the truth. You're not going to hurt his feelings. I think because of her business, she doesn't want a negative edit, and she's going to do anything and everything to make sure that she gets a positive edit from this show. This is the impression that I'm getting. Anyway, you then have Emily and Brennon move in together, and Brennon is sort of perplexed as to why is Emily bringing in so much stuff. And it's like, oh God, you said you were going to be married and that was it? You didn't believe in divorce? At least that shows commitment. The fact that she's moving in her whole life with you shows that she's really in it for the long haul. She's not just coming in with 2 items and then leaving and saying, I forgot something, I have to go home. I think that's a positive. I don't get what he doesn't like about her. I have a feeling his family sort of made him question the connection when they, started speaking to him about the concerns raised at the wedding, that she had never been in a relationship, and so was she going to be serious, and the fact that she didn't know how to save money. I think that was the other issue. Otherwise, there's nothing else that stands out about Emily that would make me believe is the reason why he wants to end things with her. And then, surprise, surprise, Orion is on the screen. Why? I don't know. It's good to see Lauren, and it's nice to see her meet up. I think it's her brother and sister-in-law. So at least she'll get some love from people who care about her. But I don't know why Orion is on my screen. I really don't. It's interesting watching Orion speak to his friends and say, oh, my family were upset that I didn't get what I wanted. And it's like, seriously, what did you say to your family? What exactly did you say that made them feel that way? I don't think they would be impressed if they saw the way you behaved, the way you carried yourself throughout the show, the way you sort of were disrespectful to your wife. Whether or not you were upset, you definitely went overboard. In my opinion, he went overboard, and I don't know how he can justify that. And then you have Lauren sit down with her brother and sister-in-law. I think I didn't get to see their names. And it's nice to see that her family were very calm and very reassuring and very nurturing towards her, to let her know that Orion doesn't define who you are. He doesn't define your destiny. He doesn't define the woman that you are. You will continue to be you, and you will find your person. Because people respond differently to situations. She tried to explain to him that the reason why she laughed was not as in a way to offend him, but it was because she was nervous and she didn't know what to do. And you could see that she wasn't being malicious. And so for him to hold that against her head and not acknowledge that he overreacted doesn't make sense to me. So I'm happy that Lauren had the family there to support her and to comfort her and to sort of give her back her strength, because she really looked deflated given how much this man has put her through only over 2 weeks. And so I don't know. I wish her all the best. I really do. So you have Emily and Brennon go for this shopping for their party. They're sort of trying to create, or sort of trying to come up with a theme for their party. They want to wear wigs. They want to, continue as a couple and to support each other. And something is still off with Brennon. I don't get it. I think he's just going through the motions because he doesn't want to lose out on 50K. But I think he's checked out. I really do think he's checked out. It's a pity he's matched with someone who really wanted to get married. I wish there was a way that the experts were able to sieve out these people that really don't want to get married but just want to be on TV. Because someone like Emily could have benefited to being married to someone like Clint. Clint really wanted to get married, but sadly he didn't find himself a match. He was matched with someone who didn't want to get married and was there to promote her business. And sadly, it seems that's the same boat Emily's in. Oh, I'm nervous. So Claire and Cameron are seen preparing for their party, and Claire is struggling to blow these balloons. Cameron turns up late. He was supposed to bring the food, but somehow he forgot to bring the food. So obviously Claire doesn't know how to handle the situation, because what will they serve their guests? And his friends are not coming, and it's like something is not it with Cameron. I don't know what he's hiding. Why is it his friends can't turn up last minute? He said they're preparing for their trip, and it's like, but they knew you wanted them to be there. If your friends couldn't be there, why didn't he bring that mother figure family friend that he brought to his wedding, at least someone on his side. It doesn't make sense for him to be there all alone with Claire and her friends. Something is off there. Is he hiding something? I don't know. I really don't know. And I wish he was more honest, or I wish he was more upfront, because we haven't seen his family. We haven't seen, his parents or his siblings. And so it just brings a lot of questions. And they then manage to order food, and it's like, oh God, here we go, something else. And then, so the first to have their friends come round are Becca and Austin. Becca really wants this marriage to work. Becca is going to do anything and everything. She reminds me of that girl from last season. I've forgotten her name. Oh my God, I'm so terrible with names, aren't I? Because she seems like she's going to do anything and everything to make Austin happy. Obviously, they have this disagreement about religion, and they're sort of trying to find their way around that and see how they can sort of stay married and be a happy couple if their beliefs don't align, their spiritual beliefs. And according to, Austin's friend, Austin barely talks about his religion. So it seems it's something that's come up now that he wants to get married. And I don't know whether it's because he wants to understand how he's going to bring up his children, or whether it's just something that's just a curiosity. It doesn't make sense. Although he was sort of quick to ask, Becca's friends that why did she break up with her exes? Can you tell me what they did wrong? That way I don't repeat the same thing. So it seems they really like one another, but I'm still on the fence with the two of them. Something is not right for me, and I'm going to stick to that. So next up is Emily and Brennon. They meet up with their friends, and you can already feel the tension. Something is going on with Brennon. I really don't know what it is. I don't know whether it's the fact that he doesn't know how to he's socially awkward, or he just doesn't recognize social cues, or what happens with him. I don't get it, because once their friends had arrived, mavs did their thing and obviously had them sit with each other's friends. And I get where her friends were coming from, because Emily had already told her friends in front of Brennon that she moved her own stuff up from downstairs, and Brennon was there and he didn't help. And it's like, he knows she injured her wrist. The least he could have done is helped her. So he's asked, what's your goal, or what's your intention with this process? And they went, oh, well, I didn't help her because it's not a real situation. And it's like, it is a real situation. You are laying the foundation for your marriage after decision day. The fact that you can't recognize that she's injured her wrist, the least you could do is help her carry her stuff upstairs. Does not make sense to me. It does not make sense to me. And I felt he was being defensive. Whether or not Emily's friends were right to ask the questions, he was very defensive. He didn't want to listen to hear what her friends were saying. He was listening to respond. So every time they tried to say something, he had response for them. And it's like, why? They're asking you, why are you here? Why are you not sort of fully committed? Because obviously he must have been a pain to film with for Emily to tell her friends. And also, I think she must have told her friends that initially he didn't want to move in with her. And instead of him explaining himself, oh, I find it very strange to be on camera, or, it makes me very anxious. I didn't realize I would be this anxious, this, that, and the other. He's on defensive mode. And it's like, why? Something is going on with Brennon. I don't know what it is. I think he really liked Emily, but I think he had a conversation with his family that has put him off Emily. And so for him to then come back to Emily and say, oh, your friends attacked me and I had to defend myself. And it's like, how did they attack you? Why don't you tell her what was said and what your response was? At least Emily, took it on the chin for her friends and decided to defend her man, and sort of apologized on her friend's behalf, understanding that her friends want what's in her best interest, because Emily doesn't come across as a confrontational person. So I think this is why her friends have felt the need to sort of question, Brennon, that what is your goal? What is your motive in being in this process? Are you here just to get followers, or are you here because you want to get married to someone and start a family? And I agree with them. Whether or not he's upset, that's his own business. But he the least he could have done is have given them a justifiable reason as to why he signed up to Married at First Sight. But he couldn't do that for Emily. He had to come up with reasons or excuses as to why he felt he was being attacked. Then you had poor Cameron. He met up with 4 therapists, because it seems Claire's friends are therapists. And Cameron is another one who's socially awkward. It's as though Mouse picks up these people that are socially awkward, that just blurt out things without thinking, or just, behave awkwardly in various situations. So he was asked, how do your family feel? And he went, oh, well, I can't tell my dad because he's on death's bed. And it's like, why would you just blurt it out like that? Why would you not take a moment and just say, my family is going through a very challenging moment at the moment, but I will tell my dad, the rest of my family approve, but my dad doesn't know. And then speak to, Claire aside and sort of tell her what's happened. And I think for him, because later on he expressed that, he really likes Claire, he's developing feelings for her, but she is not reciprocating what he's sort of putting out there. I think the problem with Cameron, because he says he finds it difficult to sort of confide in Claire, and even Claire acknowledged this, I think the thing is he really likes Claire, and he doesn't want to scare her off with whatever baggage is coming with from his family. And so instead he's decided to hide it. And then in situations where he's comfortable, he sort of blurts out a bit at a time. I wish he had sat down with her, even on the honeymoon when the cameras were not there, and had a conversation with her and explained everything that was going on with his family and where he was in regards telling them about getting married and what his goal was in this relationship. But sadly, I don't know why he hasn't chosen to tell her. I like the fact that he sat down with the friends, and the friends gave him honest opinions. I think both from a therapist point of view and also as just people who are friends to Claire. So this was good for Cameron. I think he needs to sit down with her friends more often. I think the problem with Claire is because she's a therapist, she's so used to sort of processing information in a certain way, and when it's not relayed to her that way, she's not accepting, or she's not understanding. Because I know she was upset that, oh, why didn't he tell me, that his dad was sick and this, that, and the other. And it's like, maybe he's waiting for you to provide a safe space for him to speak, and maybe he felt if he said it in front of your friends, then they would be able to sort of support him or help him diffuse the situation from you. I have to give Claire credit though as well, because she was understanding. I think as a therapist, she knows how challenging family situation or family dynamics can be. So she asked him, shall we leave this, sort of put this aside and then talk about this later? I think she was more or less saying to him, let's talk about this off camera. That way, it's not recorded in eternity for the rest of the world to see. And I have to give her credit for being very protective, not only about him, but about his family sort of drama. So I like that up for her, and I like her for that. I have high hope. I personally feel like the thing that's different about Claire and Cameron from someone like Becca and Brennon is that Cameron is willing to listen. He's willing to listen, process the information, and then respond. And if he feels he can make the necessary changes, he tries his best to make the changes. So I hope, if nothing else, Claire also adopts that mentality, and I hope if nothing else she allows him, or she sort of opens up to him, because it seems her not opening up is what's sort of holding him back, and he is waiting for her to open up. So I have high hopes for them, and I really hope they succeed. And then with Becca and Austin, they are some... I think there's something going on with Becca and Austin. It's either Austin doesn't like Becca, or Austin is sort of waiting for something to happen before he can sort of recommit or commit himself to Becca, because he says he likes her. He says he wants this relationship to work. But then something is still off. I don't get it. His friend was saying he's never been really religious. So I don't know whether he's using that as an excuse to sort of investigate what's going on medically with, Becca, and see if it's something that he can take on board. If it is, then he'll take it on board. If not, then he'll just say, no, our religions don't lie. So I'd rather we call it quits. It seems on her part, Becca really likes Austin, so I hope he's as committed to this as she is. Otherwise, she's going to be very heartbroken, because it seems she's making a lot of compromises to try and make this marriage work. So I really wish them the best. Anyway, thanks guys for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Click the link in my video to watch my review from episode 8. Bye guys.